Welcome to the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. My name is Kaia Ra, and I am the author of the Sophia Code. I'm also the Oracle for an Ascended Master High Council called the Sophia Dragons. The Sophia Code is a modern sacred text that is a declaration of your own sovereign divinity. And I'm looking forward to exploring this sacred text as we always do every third Sunday of the month on the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. We are an international community of light workers and living angels in human form, which we often refer to as earth angels. We are teachers, leaders, healers, advocates through Sophia Christ consciousness. We are also, we have many Sophia Circle leaders who are gathered here this evening as well. And a Sophia Circle leader has been certified by our platform to lead journeys through the Sophia Code, which is such an honor that I get to co-create with these beautiful leaders all around the world. And I'm really excited to announce that we have enrollment now open for our next cohort of Sophia Circle leaders. Our certification program starts this September, and you can learn all about that on our new website at kaiara.com, KAIARA.com. So why would I come out of the gates this evening with Sophia Circle leadership? Well, I'll tell you why. I am on fire tonight. I am feeling the presence of Sophia God so deeply in my heart and mind and body, every cell of my body. I'm so happy to be here with each of you. I was doing some research this weekend, a whole lot of research on some of the things that are unfolding on our planet right now. Nothing that's really new for me, but I know for many people, the deeper you dig into truth media, the more red pills you eat. There's a lot of information out there that's pretty mind-blowing. And when you start to piece it all together, what you begin to realize, the first thing that happens is, oh my God, how are we going to overcome what's happening on this planet right now, right? But I sleep at night because of the Sophia Code, because I know the Sophia Code, as a declaration of humanity's sovereign divinity, is offering us an incredible solution to the times that we are living in. When it took me 7 years to channel the Sophia Code, and there's a reason for that. It's because the Sophia Code is actually a living transmission. It is actually spiritual technology between two covers of a book. And what happens when you read the Sophia Code from cover to cover is you begin a process of activating a divine genome, a spiritual technology of a divine genome that exists within every cell of your body. Why would that be important? Well, there's a lot of talk about DNA and RNA replication right now, given the global scale of what's unfolding at this time. You could think about your divine genome as being all the divine qualities of God that already exist within you, including the quality of sovereignty. You can't buy it, you can't fake it, you can't get it, you can't earn it, because your sovereign divinity is already yours. And all of the weird agendas and all of the crazy, deathy kind of things that are happening all around us on this planet are designed to keep you away from the truth of your body, the truth of your mind, the truth of your emotions, your divine feminine intuition, your divine feminine discernment, your divine masculine ability to take action upon the intuition that you're receiving through the divine feminine principles within you. And so if there is one source point within your being, within your human embodiment, that is the solution that will set forward all the solutions, both for your personal embodiment, but also for the global challenges that we now face, the source point is your divine genome that exists in the subatomic universe of your own DNA. And because the divine genome mimics how biological genetics work, when you activate this divine genome, what happens is it starts to replicate the consciousness of your divinity into your biological cells, into every physical cell of your body. Most importantly, it begins to override the viral programming that we all inherit when we get born into this world. When you step inside a human body, you inherit an ego structure, you inherit ancestral lineages, you inherit the collective trauma of this planet. And it's the divine, it's your own divine genome, it's your own divinity that can override those viral programs and kickstart your divine consciousness to start operating your human awareness. Now, all of this information came to me at a time in my life where my life was so dark. It was so, I was in so much pain that when the Sophia Dragon tribe began to bring me this message and show me step by step how to activate the divine genome through these initiations that we receive in section 2 of the Sophia Code, what I got to see over the period of 7 years was how coming into contact with the resonance of the divine genome within me progressively began to bring so much light into my body that it started to miraculously overtake the pain, the trauma, the absolute grief that I was living in, and all of the ways that that pain and trauma and grief was, in essence, sabotaging my relationship with life. Day by day, month by month, year by year, became stronger, brighter, healthier, clearer, more healed, empowered, and finally fully stepped into my sovereignty. Does that mean I'm perfect or fully healed? No, I am a healing human being. I am a willing human being, just like you. We are all on this healing path, and there's just nothing to be ashamed about with that. In fact, there's everything to be proud about that we have the courage, that we have the bravery to step into human bodies and face all of the viral programming of this world with the divine light of our soul pouring through us, including the places that were broken in our journey through form, that are filled up with the light of our soul, of this sovereign divinity, and becomes even stronger than before. It's like when you break a bone and it mends and it becomes even stronger than the bone was originally. That's what happens when our willing human lives get filled with the divine light of our higher self, of our direct connection to our source, to whatever you call God. And we call God, one of the names of God is Sophia in the Sophia Code, but all names of God are welcome here. That which points to the original source, creator, creatrix, divine mother, divine father of all life. That is the energy that we are speaking of, that we are speaking from to your hearts today. So I want to thank you for creating this sacred space over the next hour together to be a part of the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. Your heart, your angelic light, your beautiful wings are so welcome here. It's such a gift to be here with you. And to begin this evening's transmission, I'd love for us to practice invoking our circle of empowerment, which, by the way, is what really came to me similarly during that time in my life when my boundaries were very weak. I felt I was being psychically attacked all of the time and feeling those attacks in my body. And it was because I had had my boundaries so blown out by the trauma I had survived that it really took going within and really talking to the ascended masters and my higher self and really coming up with a plan that was going to be a working model that I could share with others, because I knew that so many light workers around the world felt very susceptible to this energy. And ironically, this was the same time that I also came into an awareness of the golden dragon light body, which we're going to be discussing in detail tonight from the Sophia Code reading of page 311 to 313, which is from chapter 13 in the Sophia Code. We'll be reading this. So if you want to prep your copy of the Sophia Code to read from pages 311 to 313, we'll be diving into that content in just a minute. I want to just share a little bit more about this moment in time. This is years ago. So one day I was jogging through a local park, nature preserve that was near where I was living, and I had been consistently working out. I had been consecrated to sobriety in a whole new way at that time in my life. And I was just really going deep into my body. I knew there was so much to heal, but I knew that, really committing to an exercise program was going to be a part of that. So I was just doing my regular jog through the woods, and I turn the corner and I start running down the street, and I see a car coming towards me. And I remember thinking, gosh, I wish it didn't feel like I could feel the car driving through my body every time a car passes by me, because that's how it always felt wherever I went. It always felt like I could feel what people were feeling inside my body, the cars, the animals, the trees. There was just no filter. And then all of a sudden, as I'm jogging down the street with this car driving towards me, I watch as this golden light descends from above me, and all of these golden scales start to cascade down from above and then around my human form, and then drop all the way into the earth. And I start to feel this golden dragon body literally surround my entire human body, and then click like chiropractic adjustments, just click into my 8 major chakras. And I'm just jogging and along. I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? Like I didn't invoke anything. I didn't ask for anything, but I had been hanging out with the Sophia Dragons for a while at that point. And so I'm jogging and I start asking the dragons and the ascended masters, I'm like, what is this? And they said, this is your golden dragon light body that's returning to you now. You absolutely need this now for this lifetime. And they said, breathe into the scales. Don't stop jogging. Just breathe into the body of the dragon. This is a part of your body. And they said, this is technology that we've designed and we've given it to every single soul, so anyone can have access to it. But most people have forgotten that they can access this technology. So please start exploring it, because we want you to share more. I had never heard of anything like this. And so I'm just jogging along and I'm feeling into the golden dragon light body. I'm noticing that the scales are moving and breathing in synchronicity with my human body, and how different my chakras felt and how different my human body felt as I was moving inside these beautiful golden dragon scales, and looking through my physical human eyes, through the eyes, these bejeweled eyes. They were the color like a violet flame, jeweled eyes looking out through my eyes through these dragon eyes. And I thought, whoa, the world looks so different through the eyes of a dragon. And I got back to my house and I sat down and I meditated, and I just started writing about this experience that just wasn't going away. It was permanent. I could feel that a significant shift had happened. And they said, the Sophia Dragon tribe said, look, you don't have to understand everything about this now. It's going to keep integrating over the months and years to come. And as it integrates, as your journey unfolds, you're going to receive teachings about this that you'll then share with the world. And they also told me that this was a different lifetime for how the spiritual light body would be revealed and received, because in other lifetimes it required great mastery and great levels of initiation to be able to receive this. So they said, we're going to explain more about this down the road, but for now, let's just have you get used to it. And it really was from that point forward that things started to whirl into motion that set me upon the path that really got me to a place where I started channeling the Sophia Code on a consistent basis, which was no easy task to really step into. So what I discovered was that this technology was regenerating me, it was healing me, it was protecting me, and it was guiding me. It was amplifying my higher self's guidance, so I could hear my higher self's guidance more clearly without interference from outside influences. And that was really important at this moment in my life, because there was a juncture where I needed to step onto that path that was going to lead me to having time to fully channel the Sophia Code, but I really was working through some very deep karmic circumstances that could have held me back. So this arrival of the golden dragon light body was purifying both my body and my environment of negative toxic influences that could have held me back, and it was getting me my feet on a path of moving forward and into my destiny. So last night, or this weekend, I was, watching some very important videos about things that are unfolding. Again, I had mentioned at the beginning of the call, nothing really new for me, but I know for many, many people, it's going to probably take some time to eat enough red pills to put together all the pieces of what's really unfolding right now on the planet, and on so many different levels. And it's not really as important for everyone to understand the depth of darkness that we're facing right now in this spiritual war. What's the most important piece is, number one, acknowledge that the spiritual war is here, it's happening, it's full blown in our face, and that the most important solution already exists within you. Your sovereign divine light is far more powerful than the darkness. And that's what I really want to focus upon on this solstice portal. This for us here, for those of us here in the United States, it's the summer solstice, and for our listeners in Australia, on the other parts, other side of the world, they are experiencing their winter solstice. So regardless, the solstice has to do with the sun. And as you all know, I'm a huge fan of the sun. It's very much a guiding principle of consciousness, an archetype of consciousness for me in this lifetime, because for me, the sun represents Christ consciousness or Buddha consciousness. It represents the radiance that devours all darkness. And it also represents the radiance that nurtures and regenerates and protects and brings life to our planet. And I just want to really take the time tonight to drop into what the Sophia Dragons were sharing with us about the golden dragon light body, because it's so connected to the sun when we receive this technology. And we'll be reading from pages 311 to 313 in the Sophia Code this evening. So happy that you're here. So, as I was taking in some of these latest interviews, that I just want to send out a huge shout out to all the truth reporters out there, everyone who is risking their lives and their platforms to speak about the truth of what's unfolding on so many levels of society. You have my deepest respect and gratitude. It really became clear to me that today that I just really wanted to stress the importance of understanding how this sovereign divinity blueprint works within your body, because again, your body holds the solution. And this spiritual war would have you divorced from your body, would have you separated from your critical thinking skills, would have you separated from your mind and from your heart and from your feelings. But those are all the things that you need to completely come into full ownership of in your sovereign embodiment. Your body is your power. Your heart is your power. Your emotions are your guidance system. Your ability to critically think and discern what is real for you is more vital than ever. And when you dive into the spiritual technology of your own body, it lights up and reclaims all of those aspects of yourself for you. So you have to understand that you have your physical body, all right? Let's just review how this works. Your physical body is a manifestation of your higher self. It's an energy of your higher self descending into this planet and taking shape as your human form. Now, your human form is being replicated by DNA that you inherited from your parents. But within that universe, there's billions and billions and billions of electrons within your DNA. And if you go beyond even the electrons, which is already, you go into that subatomic universe of the black void, the nothingness. Eventually what will emerge into your consciousness are these crystalline chromosomes that line up with your DNA. Sophia God, Divine Mother, gave us a divine genome. It's a covenant between your soul and her sacred heart. Why? If you are created in the image and likeness of God, what does that mean? You are a part of God. And God would have never sent you into this world on this mission and abandoned you. She, he, it, whatever God is to you, is embracing you right now within every cell of your body as the presence of your higher self that is anchored within these crystalline chromosomes within a divine genome, and that can have a bridge of light. When you activate this divine genome, there's bridges of light that move from the divine genome and start to regenerate and override viral programming in your biological DNA. That's really good news right now, given the level of what we're facing in psychic pollution, and the amount of experimentation that's being done upon our species through multiple vehicles of oppression that I won't go into. It's important to understand that your body is the front line. Your body, your mind is the front line in this spiritual war. And so to activate the divine genome within you is to activate your sovereign light, which will protect your body, which will protect your heart, your mind, your emotions in ever increasing measure, especially the deeper you go with mentoring with these ascended masters who are supporting you in your direct connection with God and your direct connection with your higher self. This is why we created the Sophia Code Mystery School, because integrating your divine sovereign light takes time. It takes integration. You can't eject hundreds of lifetimes of karmic trauma and pain and wounding and viral programming in a week or a day or a weekend workshop. It takes years, honestly. But what good years they are. I'll tell you what, activating my divine genome and living from that consciousness have been the best years of my life. Does that mean they've been challenge free? Absolutely not. I experience creative challenges every day of my life, but I experience them from the place of sovereignty, which is such an exciting space to meet life from and to engage with life from. So in your DNA, when you activate the divine genome by walking through every single initiation in section 2 of the Sophia Code, what happens is this divine genome starts to send ray after ray, bridges of light to your biological DNA, to all of your organs, to your bone marrow, to every meridian in your body. You also have thousands of micro chakras in your body. And then, of course, you have the 8 major chakra system that governs those small micro thousands of chakras throughout your body. You also have a Kundalini pathway that runs from your root to your crown chakra. And you have a central column of light at the center of your being that connects all of your 8 major chakras. So when you activate the divine genome, you are filling all of those pathways, all of your blood vessels, all of your organs, every cell of your body, and your human awareness, your emotional body and your mental body and your psychology with the light of your higher self, with that light of divinity that is sovereign and free forever from all the worlds of form, because that is the presence of God. You cannot bind God. You cannot bound God. It's impossible. She's laughing across the multiverse. How are you ever going to put God in a box? And you are God. Now, if you are a part of God, now if you see your body as a box or as a prison, you can temporarily believe that you are bound to this world. But that's where these beautiful ascended master teachers of sovereignty from the Sophia Code step in and say, you are a quantum being. You are filled with billions of electrons that exist everywhere simultaneously. And further, you have access to spiritual technology beyond your wildest dreams. So you are not imprisoned to this world at all. In fact, you are so liberated, you are so sovereign, you are so free that you are here to free this world from the outstanding darkness of thousands of years of agendas that have gone on for far too long, persecuting women, men, and children for centuries. This is the lifetime when we say, no, no, no more. Enough. We're done. It's over. Many of us have apocalyptic dreams about what's going to be happening, or visions, because there's so many timelines that are being decided upon by, the collective, humanity's collective consciousness. But no matter what humanity decides, you and I can decide on a timeline that can override whatever timeline is coming down the pipeline. That's how powerful those who gather. It's just what Jesus said, where two or more are gathered in my name, which what he was saying was, in the name of Christ consciousness, there is the presence of God. We have to start thinking bigger about ourselves, bigger about our sovereignty, much bigger about our light, and using our light to take up more space in this world. It's the only solution. And the more we choose to embody that sovereign divine light, the more we will recognize the Christ within each and every one of us. The return of Christ consciousness on this planet, which will include the return of divine feminine Christ consciousness, which is honestly essential, because that's what's been bound and gagged for centuries and silenced. The intuitive, somatic genius of the human body is a divine feminine principle that exists within every man, woman, and child, or non-binary identified individuals. I don't care. This isn't a gender conversation. This is a God principle conversation. There's just certain ways that principles of divinity operate. Some are receptive, some are magnetic, some are proactive, some are protective. They all work together as one within us. And it's important that each and every one of us reclaim this divine feminine principle, the many principles within us that bring profound wisdom, understanding, discernment, creativity, generosity, and purity. The divine feminine recognizes and calls out what is sacred on this planet. The divine masculine within us then takes a stand to defend it, to stand up for it. And both of these principles exist within each of us individually. And it's really exciting that so many people are finally waking up at this time, because the extent of persecution that we're now experiencing worldwide is so prevalent that you just can't ignore it anymore. It's just in too many people's faces. We all feel it like a hot breath on the back of our neck. But guess what? Dragons breathe hot breath too. So I would love for us to turn now to page 311 of the Sophia Code. And so we can explore this amazing spiritual technology and where it comes from in the Sophia Code. Before we start to read, I just want to quickly invoke your circle of empowerment. So that would look like this real quick. Visualizing a beautiful circle of light around your physical body, anywhere between 3 to 6 feet outside of your body. And you're going to visualize 8 pillars of light along this circle of light. And those 8 pillars there's going to be 8 ascended master key codes of initiation. Ascended masters that are here to support you in your own sovereign embodiment, in your own liberated, enlightened embodiment here on earth, not off the planet, here and now in your gorgeous human body. So in the north, we're going to welcome White Buffalo Woman, who's key code 7 of the Sophia Code. She of 1,000 white clouds and thunder beings. In the northeast, we're going to welcome Beloved Winged Isis, she of 1,000 names, key code 1 of the Sophia Code. In the east, we welcome Hathor and the Hathor Star Nation, key code 2 of the Sophia Code, she of 1,000 voices. In the southeast, we welcome Kiko 3, Green Tara, and the Order of Dakinis, she of 1,000 stars, welcoming beautiful Green Tara into the sacred space at in your circle of empowerment. In the south, we welcome beloved Mother Mary, key code 4 of the Sophia Code, she of 1,000 roses. In the southwest, we welcome beloved Mary Magdalene, she of 1,000 angels, and ascended Master Jesus, Saint Joan of Arc, and the entire order of Magdalena. In the west, we welcome beloved key code 6 of the Sophia Code, she of 1,000 waters, Kuan Yin, and her divine masculine counterpart, Mahavatar Babaji, supporting her transmission here at your circle of empowerment and around this sacred space. Finally, we welcome in the Northwest, key code 777 in the Sophia Code, she who births sovereign creators, the highest seraphim of the Divine Mother, creatrix birthers of sovereign paradigms, sovereign species, planets, and even star systems. We welcome the Sophia Dragons. And feeling as the Sophia Dragons arrive, they're just so delighted to be here with us today. They are rather rambunctious. They're dancing in that northwest corner, anchoring that sacred space. They're just really, really happy to have the spotlight on them today. Finally, in the center of your beautiful circle of empowerment, we welcome the presence of your own higher self, which is your key code. This is your key code at the center of your circle. And this energy that you may feel starting to descend over your head, like a waterfall of light flowing into your heart, flowing down your shoulders, filling your stomach, flowing into your heart, flowing into your belly, rolling down your legs, filling your root chakra, your sacral chakra, your solar plexus, your lower back, filling out that circle with what? You, your own sovereign Christ light, your own sovereign Buddha light, filling that circle of empowerment with more of you, please, and thank you. And I invite you to feel that presence of your higher self flowing all the way down through the floorboards, flowing all the way to the very heart of Mother Earth, connecting you as a column of light to the heart of Mother Earth, and also connecting you all the way up beyond your crown chakra as a column of light, past the ceiling, past the sun, moon, and stars, past all of the star nurseries and all of the galaxies of form and the multiverse, and all the way back to the very original source point, past the 5th plane, the 6th plane, and into the 7th plane, where instantaneous miracles and divine knowing exists, where we return back to that source, breathing as the presence, as the holy womb, as the light of all creation. I'm also very keenly aware of the star nations, which is key code 999, that are present for today's transmission. We're really grateful for our star nation families that are a part of the Sophia Dragon tribe showing up today. And really feeling presence with the archangels as well that are connected to the Sophia Dragon tribe, serving in particular Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Uriel, and Gideon Amakuel, Jophael. Too many to name at this time, but so grateful for all of these archangels, and also giving thanks for your guardian angels that are present for today's prayer call as well. So for those of you who have initiated yourselves with the mentorship of the Sophia Dragon tribe and with the Sophia Dragons, which that key code 777 initiation at chapter 13 of the Sophia Code, I invite you to tune into the rippling scales of your golden dragon light body that can connect into that circle of empowerment. Just bringing more presence, that golden dragon light body, once you download it around your human body and link it into your 8 major chakra system, it's just not leaving you. It's never gonna go anywhere. In fact, the more attention you bring to it, the stronger it becomes. One of the things that I have noticed over the years is that if you don't feel worthy of the golden dragon light body, there's stages of downloading that need to occur for it to fully lock into place. And I've seen that at events a lot where I say, oh, wow, it's kind of a little bit, they downloaded it sideways a little bit. I was like, they didn't think they were good enough for it. So if you feel as though you're wondering like, hey, do I need a little bit of an upgrade on my download? Just go back and revisit the key code 777 initiation. You can repeat these initiations as many times as you want to. And every time you do, not only do you deepen the clearing and the empowerments of sovereignty that are here in these initiations for you, but you also go deeper with your mentorship with each of these key codes. That's what's so incredible about the Sophia Code. Every time you go back and read this codex, you are reading an entirely new book. You are reading sentences and paragraphs and even chapters that you couldn't take in the first time you read it. Because every sentence in this book is meant to rearrange every part of your inner and outer reality. So sometimes there's only so much you can take in at a time, and that's okay. It took me 7 years to channel this. It had to completely rearrange me. It's meant to be a lifelong journey. It's why we're here as a foundation and as a mystery school for the long run. We're not going anywhere. We know what it takes as a mystery school to really dive into this work and truly embody it. And then the lead from this space is our Sophia Circle leaders are helping to activate other beautiful light workers around the world into their sovereignty. It's like, this is a transmission that continues to bless and transform your life for as long as you're willing to work with it. So I'd like, from this space of clarity, from this space of sovereign empowerment, from this space of profound seraphim magic, to open our inner eyes and open our hearts in a whole new way to the words, the testimony of the Sophia Dragons as they're sharing with us in chapter 13 of the Sophia Code. Before we begin, I just want to say, as a disclaimer, it's really, really, really important to do all of these initiations for the first time in order. It's really important. It's really helpful to build each of these initiations, literally clear you out major chakra by major chakra by major chakra, up from the root to the crown. So when you are going through the Isis initiation, you are literally doing psychic surgery on your root chakra. When you are working with Hathor, your higher self is performing psychic surgery on your sacral chakra and your throat chakra simultaneously. Green Tara is literally upgrading and, blessing and surgically improving your solar plexus. Like, do you see how these initiations build up until you get to the Sophia Dragons? Key code 777 initiation is the soul star chakra, which exists a foot and a half above your head. But to be able to ground that kind of energy, you have to actually inhabit your body. You have to actually fully own your body. And that's what the first 7 initiations walk you through. Do you have to understand how that's working? Sophia God tells us in chapter 1, you do not have to understand a word of it for the word of the Sophia Dragon tribe to be working on you. Like, life is hard enough as it is. What a blessing that's how this transmission works. And what's interesting is that every time you revisit these initiations, the operating system of the divine genome within you is operating your human awareness more and more, opening up your awareness to see through the light of your soul just how these initiations are actually working on you over time. So, it's just really exciting stuff. So we're going to go to page 311. And actually, there was this two paragraphs starting at 309 that I wanted to open up with, because it paints such a beautiful picture of when the Sophia Dragons were here physically on Earth with us, the last time they were here with us, which was honestly hundreds of thousands of years ago. So we're going to start with your divine inheritance of the golden dragon light body at the very bottom of page 309, but then we're going to jump over to 311. I just got so excited when I revisited this paragraph that I wanted to read it with you out loud. This is the word of the Sophia Dragons as given to us in the Sophia Code at the bottom of page 309. Your divine inheritance of the golden dragon body. The Sophia Dragons taught advanced initiates who trained at dragon mystery schools on Earth during a golden age long ago. At that time, many of these open air temples were built at mountainous high altitudes, often positioned above a consistent cloud line. This allowed for our high frequency bodies to decelerate into form and only be seen by those humans trained to remain conscious during our direct interaction. So what's happening in this paragraph? Let's go back at the beginning. The Sophia Dragons, they say, we taught advanced initiates. What does the word initiates means? It means advanced students in a mystery school. What is a mystery school? A mystery school is designed to take you to the very edges of what you know of as reality and push you way beyond that, so you can actually touch into the universal reality that you are a part of, the cosmic truth of who you really are as a divine being having a human experience. And so when you were initiated into mystery schools in ancient times, there were very extreme tests and periods of learning that would help you overcome your ego structure's resistances to embodying the superpowers and the superconscious aspects of your mind. And so what the Sophia Dragons are saying is like, hey, at one point in your Earth's history, we directly interfaced with certain cultures upon your planet, and there were temples built in our honor so that we could work with the most advanced students on your planet that could handle seeing a seraphim with their bare eyes and interacting with a seraphim in the flesh. So it says, at this time, many of these open air temples were built at mountainous high altitudes, often positioned above a consistent cloud line. That was, just like many things in life, we can have different dimensions and different planes of reality existing on the same planet. So, people often wonder, where does some of these things that are happening on the planet exist? Well, they exist in a different dimension. That's why a lot of it goes unnoticed or uncaught. Or, why can't I easily see angels? And it's because angels exist in a much higher plane of reality. And so this allows for those who are ready to see, just like what Jesus taught, those who have eyes to see and ears to see and hear what they're ready to see and hear. And that's what's happening here at these Dragon Mystery Schools. These schools are reserved for people that were just like, show me the truth and only the truth. And I promise to live by the truth of my sovereign divinity. And so what the dragons were doing, these Sophia dragons, not normal dragons, the Sophia dragons, was their seraphim, they were literally, when they say decelerate, they were slowing down their light bodies, which move beyond the speed of light, so that as they slowed down their energy, just like we're slowing down our energy, they became visible into form at these high mountain temples. And when they did that, those students who could handle the being in the presence of a Sophia dragon would be directly initiated by them. And what would happen during those initiations? Let's keep reading. Within these temples, we taught our advanced initiates how to access and embody their sovereign power through the precious vehicle of their form. What is that precious vehicle of their form? It's their human body. The dragons were like, hey, we're really interested in your human body. Are you? Because that's where all the magic happens. An individual would train for years to purify their body, heart, and mind so that they could stand before our all-seeing eyes in the clear radiance of their own innocence. Once this return to their innocence was fully embodied, we would then instruct this initiate on how to self-activate every superpower of their human body hidden within the Hrit chakra, which is also known as the sacred heart. We've carved the symbol for the Hrit chakra into the Jesus pendant that you can find on my website. That was very important to me. It's carved into the golden dragon scales in the back of that sacred heart that we have a pendant for Jesus. So check this out. All right. What's happening here is when you come face to face, fully in the flesh, with a full blown, no filter, the hands and the eyes of God. Generally in the Bible, what they talk about is prophets falling on their face and like covering themselves with dust, because it is so unnerving to the ego structure to interface with holiness coming into form. I mean, we see this in the White Buffalo Woman's chapter, when the two men approach her and one man loses his marbles and she turns them to dust, and the other man gets down on his knees and starts praying and can't even look her in the eye. It's just like we think we know what it really is like to come into the full conscious presence of holiness. And then there's what really happens when we come into the full presence of holiness. I really want you to sit with that, all of us, because it wouldn't hurt for us to all be a little bit more humble when it comes to the holiness and what is sacred in life. And so what the dragons are saying is, the Sophia Dragons are saying we would work with these initiates to help them calibrate what it was like to stand in the presence of holiness for longer than one hot second of them falling face flat into the dirt. Eventually, just like in Kuan Yin's chapter, when she was purifying herself of her fears and Maha Avatar Babaji shows up in her at the end of chapter 11 to bless Kuan Yin's journey of as a spiritual teacher, what happened? She's purifying her body of fear, and then the Sophia Dragon Maha Avatar Babaji say, stand up, daughter of the moon, stand up and be seen in your sovereignty. And that's exactly what Kuan Yin did. She shook off the bodies of fear that was keeping her from standing in the presence of these mirrors of her holiness, of her own holiness. This is why we want to be initiated by ascended masters, by seraphim, by the very presence of God herself, himself. We want to remember and learn how to stand on our own 2 feet with our wings up in the true presence and awareness of our own holiness, because it is our own holiness, it is our own sacredness that is going to shake this world free of its misidentification with a Luciferian agenda. It's going to require us fully knowing the truth of our sovereign creative power to overcome all darkness by accessing that solar Christ light within us that burns away every last tendril that of belief systems that could keep us feeling unworthy of who we really are. Now, the Golden Dragon light body is a profound technology that helps create a very powerful psychic boundary, shall we say, that's a living and breathing scales that allows for all of the divine love to keep pouring in from this world and from others, but it filters out a lot of psychic toxic debris. It just doesn't let it in to your physical body and into your emotional body, into your sacred space. So let's kind of skip over now back to page 311, and let's hear about what the Sophia Dragons share about this Golden Dragon light body. What a time that we need it. Now more than ever, we need this technology. The Golden Dragon light body is a spiritual technology, reading from the top of page 311, that we designed, we being the Sophia Dragons, that we designed through which our children can live and create as we do, as angels of sovereignty within the realms of form. So if you really track back where most species arise from, a lot of original creator species do not look like the species that you are living in. So for example, the Sophia Dragons are creatrix mother species, an original creatrix mother species. And so when you track back and see dragon mothers as an original creator species, you know, asked by the divine mother to help give birth to another sovereign species, it's like, that can be very confusing to the ego structure, very confusing. And that's what's gotten us in a world of pain over eons of evolution, rejecting ourselves. And so what they're saying is like, we're a part of parenting you, you know, along with as a part of the angels, the angelic orders of God that are looking after you, that are helping to raise you up in your sovereignty. So they're calling us their children, and they're saying you can live and create as we do. And what do they consider themselves and how they create? They consider themselves angels of sovereignty within the realms of form. And the Sophia Dragons go on to say that this golden dragon light body can be thought of as a suit of golden dragon scales that can easily slip over your human form and upgrade every system of your body, heart, and mind. Talk about a spiritual armor. I mean, think about what you want to give your children. You want to give them the best education. You want them to feel well dressed, to feel proud of their bodies, to give them the best food, to provide the best ways that they can play and meet other children and have a healthy upbringing. It's like all of the angelic realms and the masters of light that serve God's will, they want us to have these gifts as well, right? Because we're all a part of the same family. So moving forward, directed by your own higher self, the golden dragon light body technology begins downloading through your eighth chakra and interfaces with your kundalini channels and neurological highway. Anchoring first at the center of your Hrit chakra, it travels into every cell of your body to integrate with the Sophia Code motherboard and then radiates out, surrounding your entire body in a golden field of light. Praise God. Once anchored, your human chakras spin into alignment to interface with the chakras of the golden dragon light body. Your human eyes will then adjust to peer out through the multifaceted, bejeweled eyes of your own dragon embodiment. The golden scales form themselves as a living intelligence around your 8 major chakra system, and they're correlating fields of light. Fully formed, this light body is a golden dragon embodiment for your higher self to surround you in a permanent Merkaba magnetic field of your own sovereign power. I'm just going to stop here for a second. Now, I know this might be a little outside the box for some light workers, but if you really consider the beings and entities that are involved with trying to destroy this planet, it would be kind of awesome to really open up our hearts and minds to the possibility that there's other beings that are attempting to help us save ourselves and help initiate us into our sovereignty so that we can liberate ourselves. So, the dark is working with some pretty dark principles, including entities. And if we're receiving this help from the angelic realms, I mean, wow, let's just soak it in. What a gift. What a gift and what a balance to what's unfolding in this spiritual war on the planet right now, that we can win through the power and presence of our divine light radiating back the darkness and allowing the darkness to finally and fully integrate beyond a war into the truth of our whole and sovereign divinity. Let's keep reading. At first, you may feel the circumference of your golden dragon light body anywhere from 10 to 30 feet surrounding your human form. With cultivation, there are no limits to how wide the circumference of this Merkaba field of light can resonate around you. As your perception adjusts to the download, your inner vision calibrates to witness a fully formed dragon embodiment with chakras, meridians, organs, wings, and a tail that directly interfaces with those same aspects of your human body. Just feeling into that, like how much space you start to take up on the planet when you receive this spiritual light body technology that easily downloads and interfaces with the divine genome, which you've already activated in the first 7 key code initiations. It's just like getting not just back all the pieces of yourself across multiple timelines and past lives, everything you've learned, everything you've embodied, all your wisdom, gifts, and talents. Now you're starting to draw from your heavenly powers because you've accepted who you are. And that's what unfolds in this key code 777 initiation, which is at the end of this chapter. It's just like unbelievable. So why is this? Let's jump to why this technology is so important. In the next paragraph, it says, we originally designed this technology to be customized for you by your own higher self. So who's in control of this download? You are. Your own sovereign divinity decides how much of it you receive, how much of it you want to use. It's all up to you. Why would they leave it up to you? Because they want you to know that you're in charge. You're the master of your own sovereign expression in this lifetime. You can choose any ratio from slavery to sovereignty and everything in between. It's up to you. Isn't that exciting? No one's telling you what to do. It's simply an invitation to your greatness. says your golden dragon light body is entirely unique unto you, fashioned from the quantum fabric of your own Holy Spirit with golden scales that reflect the self-mastery of all your lifetimes across the space-time continuum. By the way, that includes all of your lifetimes beyond this planet, all right? So all of your lifetimes. When you embody this technology, you are accessing the totality of the sovereign master within you as a unified field of magnetic light that can command heavenly realities to appear on earth. I think it's time that we start embodying this magnetic sovereign light that can command heavenly realities to appear on earth, because there's certainly a lot of commanding of the other thing at this time. So this is the way to start taking back our sovereign power and taking up more space on this planet. It's why I did the soul power journey earlier this year, which you can now you have access to on my website. We've got to move through our trauma. We've got to reclaim our emotions. We've got to fully own our bodies, activate our divine genome, and receive these spiritual technologies to embody our sovereignty and take up way more space. We're going to do a little bit of a guided meditation tonight because it's the solstice. As a ceremony, I'm going to go a little bit over if you have some extra time to receive those activations, but I'm just on fire to re-impress upon our consciousness the depths of these teachings, because I really feel here at the midway point of this year how vital it is for us to remember that we have technology that allows us to embody our sovereignty in powerful and miraculous ways at this time on the planet. It's a sacred flame of hope that we deserve to, really magnify our focus upon and grow that flame brighter and brighter and brighter as the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective, for all the world to know that it can access itself within that same sacred sovereign flame. Moving forward, they talk about the blessings in the next paragraph about how this magnetism of your golden dragon light body manifests you in the right place at the right time. It's a technology that can magnetize people, places, events, resources, and synchronistic opportunities with what? Oh, lightning speed, that are mutually beneficial for completing creations of divine purpose. What is the goal? What are they saying here? They're saying like, whoa, it's going to hyper accelerate your divine purpose when you activate this golden dragon light body. You start mentoring with the Sophia Dragons. They go on to say, your golden dragon light body will also strongly guide you to walk away from anyone or anything that is not in alignment with your mission. What? Without judgment. Do you have to judge someone to know someone's just not the same resonance as you? No. You can bless them to prosper elsewhere and keep your feet on your path. That's called discernment and unconditional love. And profound self-love at that too. And that the golden dragon light body is ultimately like helping us clear ourselves from the toxicity, from the devastating self-sabotaging effects of codependency, which is rife in the collective consciousness of humanity. Let's keep going. We're now on page 312 of the Sophia Code. It is an incredibly efficient technology. They're talking about the golden dragon light body, built for expressing the master within you and drawing the company of other self-realized masters who are divinely aligned to author miracles with you. Ooh, that is co-creation at its finest. Golden dragon co-creation. Oh my gosh, yes. Further, it creates a new unlimited metaphysical form for downloading and anchoring an ever-increasing amount of your higher self's presence, wisdom, compassion, and divine love here on earth. Communicating with your higher self becomes seamless. I mean, the benefits are so beyond when you consider what happens when this download occurs and you allow yourself to integrate it, to work with the Sophia Dragons, to be in meditation with this golden dragon body, to be creative and explore what does it feel like to move within this spiritual light body technology. Now, this is why I felt super, super inspired this next paragraph to talk about this, the golden dragon light body this evening. after some of the information that I was watching this weekend. It said this exceptional spiritual technology also filters out unnecessary empathic or telepathic information directed at you from others. What could be included for others? Oh, I don't know. Government mind program, control programming, um, the constant bombarding of propaganda and marketing from corporations that have no interest in life or the well-being of this planet. There is so much programming happening everywhere you turn these days. Best to be looking at it through your golden dragon light body eyes and not your human eyes, because those eyes of sovereignty are going to initiate your human eyes to see clearly through the Holy Spirit of discernment within you, where you can red pill on everything you see and see right through, either to the heart of darkness or to the heart of purity within you. Hopefully both at the same time, because what we're being initiated into in our sovereignty is to be able to take in the totality of creation here, the fullness of the dark and the fullness of the light, and to bring our unconditionally loving presence, the master within us, to all of it, hopefully without blinking. That's what dragons are good for. All right, let's keep going. What else is happening here? With a greater sense of self and personal space surrounding you, socially conditioned pollutants. Ooh, that's an interesting term. Socially conditioned pollutants. Could be a myriad of things put in there, have far less of an effect upon your emotional body. I would have to say that would include geoengineering. Your ability to respond to others with a multidimensional perspective and discerning wisdom of your higher self will exponentially increase. With devout cultivation of your golden dragon light body, this technology filters out the toxic physical pollutants and psychic warfare in your environment so that it never reaches your body. Boom. In previous golden ages, this technology was used to actually transmute environmental pollutions to neutral or even positive elements that give back to the environment. What we are presenting here is just an introduction to this extraordinary technology that is your divine inheritance. There are no limits to how you can explore your sovereign power to create a new paradigm with your golden dragon light body. So thanks for diving into that content from chapter 13 of the Sophia Code. We're going to do a beautiful solstice meditation and prayer now. And for those of you who are interested in walking through the 8 key code initiations that activate your divine genome and culminate with the Golden Dragon Light Body download, the Golden Dragon Light Body initiation is available on page 314 of the Sophia Code to page 339. But please, 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 if you haven't done the first 7 initiations, follow them in successive order. Give yourself the gift of building up your body, heart, and mind to receive the Golden Dragon Light Body in a way that's sustainable and integrated and really supportive to all the different aspects of your human body, your mind, your heart, your emotions that really all want to come online together in harmony. And that's why we go through key code 1 through 7 initiations that lead up to that 777. So thanks for going on that journey through part of chapter 13 today with me. I just feel so grateful and honored that I get to share about this modern sacred text, declaring our sovereign divinity with you, and that we get to share it together in the world. I want to send out a special thanks to our Sophia Circle leaders who are walking students through the Sophia Code. If you are interested in finding out more about a Sophia Circle journey, we do have a Sophia Circle leader directory on my beautiful new website at kaia.com. And we are just really, really proud of everyone who's sharing the Sophia Code around the world. And so let's just take a moment to honor the solstice by opening our hearts even more deeply to the mentorship of the Sophia Dragons, to feel the power of the Sophia Dragons, their presence, that Holy Spirit breath of life that they are blessing each and every one of us on the call with this evening or this morning, wherever you are listening live or on the replay. These seraphim are enormous. They whatever you can see of them in your mind's eye is just a glimpse. They're just downsizing themselves so that we can play with them, that we can feel like they're approachable. The truth is that, Sophia, there's no end and there's no beginning. They are truly eternal and very multidimensional beings. And that beautiful seraph is the singular word for seraphim, which means an angel of sovereignty, is stepping forward. And she has a lot of beautiful red and gold energy emanating off of her this evening. And she's guiding you to really feel the presence, her presence, welcoming you onto her back. She's saying, why don't you take a little ride with me? We're going to fly into the sun, because the solstice is all about the sun. And as you begin to get on her back and feel yourself flying towards the sun, you may start to see other members of the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective flying with you on the back of a Sophia dragon. And you may feel rays of light that are just shining off every single scale. And you may notice that each of the scales of the Sophia dragon have an eye in them, with little tiny lightning bolts and tiers of diamonds and pearls, as the eyes within those scales are singing the songs of Sophia, singing the worship of creation. So your body may begin to fill with music as you climb higher and higher to the sun. And as you feel yourself approaching this beautiful sun, there is a city of light within the center of the sun. There are many dragons that are native to the center of the sun. The Sophia Dragons are guiding you to this beautiful Sacred Heart temple within the center of the sun. And for those of you who are traveling from the other side of the world, no worries. Dragons seem to fly in a very quantum way. You're right here with us. And let's all enter into the Sacred Heart temple of the sun. There's a throne within this beautiful temple. And in this temple is literally blazing with light rays that are purifying those parts of us that are ready to release the fear of this past year. The psychic mind control programming, the pollutants, the chemtrails, the geoengineering pollutants, the GMOs, the Luciferian agendas, the rituals happening on this planet. Like, this is that moment in the solstice where we take a sun bath. And it's like a waterfall of rays of light that are descending over each and every one of us. And I invite you to feel any layers of just sadness or trauma or darkness that you may have been feeling from the collective literally being burnt away within this Sacred Heart of the Sun temple. And you may begin to feel that beautiful Sophia dragon spiraling around your human body. If you have activated your golden dragon light body, you may begin to feel your scales glistening and growing stronger, regenerating. Dragon energy loves to be in warm and hot places that regenerate the scales. Fire is a real element for dragons. I mean, they love all the elements, but in this case with the solstice, allow every cell of your body and every scale of your golden dragon light body. And for those of you who are getting ready for your golden dragon light body, just allow your body to receive those initial initiations, those preparatory initiations from the Sophia Dragons, lifting up your body, heart, and mind in a transmission of worthiness, to accept and receive your divine inheritance in a mighty new way for the rest of this year. And the Sophia Dragons are creating a bridge with their bodies from this time point at the midpoint year of the solstice to the next solstice at the end of this year. And this is very important, they're saying, because There have been so many challenging alignments, so many challenging moments of needing to stay within our faith and our strength and our courage, in ways that we have, have felt very unusual for us over the past year. And so they're welcoming you to witness this golden bridge of light that they're helping to build from your heart at this solstice all the way to your heart at the solstice at the end of the year. Feel your future self receiving your heart here and now at the midway point, halfway through the year. And feel how your golden dragon light body, or the prayer for your golden dragon light body, to carry you from this solstice to that solstice in the holy fire and light of your own sovereign divinity. And that with every day from this day forward, your light on earth is going to increase, it's going to brighten, it's going to radiate and expand. That you are committing on this solstice to become brighter and brighter and more expanded in your human body, in your golden dragon light body, in your sovereign alignment, and the radiance of your divinity. And that you're committing today on this solstice to a practice of self-love that's going to be your guardrails and your guardianship of this radiance in the world. I invite you to feel into the rays of the sun, feel into your throne. And I want you to almost like hit the button on an elevator. And I want you to bring this throne and bring the presence of the sun right back down to earth, where you are seated on the earth. And the Sophia Dragon is going to be guiding you like an elevator all the way back to your body. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as you arrive, come right into your physical human body. Your human body, the cells of your body may begin to feel a little bit more fiery, a little bit of heat from that sun. And I welcome you to visualize that sun that you see in the sky now radiating out from the very center of your heart, from the center of your body, and filling the entire room that you're sitting in. And I would invite you, with the Sophia Dragon by your side, to start pulsing the sun of your being, the sun of your soul, wider and wider and wider, even beyond the walls of the room or the area that you're sitting in. Keep expanding the sun that you are radiating out from across the town that you're in, across the state or country that you're in, now across the world, so that the reach of our sun comes and becomes a massive sun across this entire planet of sovereign Christ light, of sovereign Buddha light, filling the consciousness of humans and species all over the world with the understanding that we are sovereign, we are free, we are the light of God in form. We are having a human experience, but we are divinity in the flesh. And as such, we are here to command miracles and to radiate as the truth and light of that creatorhood here on earth. Feel the fiery pulses of that sun. Feel how fearless and courageous. It's not even courage, it's a beingness. When you radiate from the sun of sovereignty within you, it's a fire that is literally invincible and untouchable. It brings regenerative warmth. It is not destructive to anything that is of life. Life welcomes it in. Blaze as the sun of sovereignty that you are. And feel how it's also simultaneously regenerating every cell of your body. And notice how your beautiful golden dragon light body just ripples, the scales just ripple in delight every time you bring an anchor and download even more of your Christ light here on earth. Pulse, 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 expand. Pulse, 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 expand. Pulse, 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 expand. And I invite you to expand that sun of consciousness, that sovereign sun of consciousness that's blazing from the center of your being and out into the world, all the way down to the heart of Mother Earth, to bring her loving support, for her transition and her ascension in this journey, that we're all on together within her body, feeling the sun of your own soul, that higher self sovereignty, blessing the heart of Mother Earth, blessing her waters, blessing her mountains, blessing her rivers, blessing her ocean, expanding, pulsing, cleansing, purifying, loving, regenerating, connecting. We are literally surrounding the planet in a sovereign solstice sun of light. This is how powerful we are. This is how blessed we are. This is how we are here to bless others. You may hear the voices of millions of people on the planet simultaneously reaching out for this light. I invite you to visualize them drinking the golden nectar of the sun as a symbol that their own source is the source that they are crying out for, that their own sovereignty is the source that already exists within them, that their own divinity is what they are seeking and it has never left them. Feeling into the bliss, into the ecstasy, into the purity of your own heart, contributing this incredible solar Christ light to the planet. And in gratitude for the Sophia Dragons and the entire Sophia Dragon tribe, who are exceptional initiators and guides, teachers, for how we are to truly embody our sovereign divinity in this lifetime, I'd like to read this benediction that we receive at the end of the Sophia Dragons chapter in honor of today's solstice portal. The word of the Sophia Dragons. You did not travel all this way to play small. You came here to be the holy fire and light of Sophia. You came to move as one golden dragon of Sophia Christ consciousness upon the earth, birthing heavenly sovereign realities with your family of light. We are the high seraphim of Sophia's sacred heart. We bless your sovereignty. We bless your divinity. We bless you as an immaculate birther of this new paradigm. We bless the power of your unconditional love and our shared prayer for the heart of humanity. We are one. Go forth and create for the glory of Sophia within us all. Amen. I welcome you to feel that this presence, this solar transmission can remain with you and go with you this evening or this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are in this world. This is who you really are. It doesn't have to leave you as we close the sacred space. The sacred space around you is continually open. I want to thank you so much for mentoring with these Ascended Masters, for receiving the sacred text of the Sophia Code as a declaration of your sovereign divinity, for sharing the good news of these teachings. And thank you so much for joining us every third Sunday of the month for the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. It's an honor to be any part of your spiritual journey. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our team at kaira.com. If you'd like to join our Sophia Circle certification program, enrollment is now open. We begin in September. It's an exceptional leadership training course for how to step into your divine purpose with the Sophia Code. And I'm really looking forward to this year's live journey. So once again, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us this evening. Thank you for being the hope of this planet at this time. Thank you for burning with such a powerful sacred flame in your heart. Thank you to every single person that's downloaded all of the light body technology and all of these 8 key code initiations in the Sophia Code. Together, we are truly birthing a new paradigm, co-leading this paradigm for sovereign revolution in consciousness on this planet. All of my love to you always. We'll see you next month. Namaste.